You know, Kid Cool, 1 year ago, Wildside ran a piece introducing us to the world where we compared ourselves to all the tops in Wildside. 1 year ago. You know what that means?
What?
It's time to celebrate. First of all, we got all that Adam Jacobs, the king of laying the lumber.
You know, we lay the lumber all the time.
Yeah, we do. We just built a treehouse last week.
And then you got John Phoenix.
You mean the Slim Jim guy? Eat me! And then you got the NWA Wildside Junior Heavyweight Champion, a man trained by Dean Malenko, Jeremy
Lopez?
Yeah.
And then you got TNT.
You mean Two No Talents?
Yeah, Powder and Nose really suck.
Yeah, they do. Well, you know, there's one thing all these people have, and that's a top spot in Wildside. But there's one thing they'll never have, and that's the right stuff. So for all my G's at home, I hope you remember and never forget, the G will always stand for good looking.
And introducing the four participants, Brandon P. and Jay Freeze, Future Shock.
And Future Shock, dive-bobbing G-rated, as well as the Rage, going one-on-one, Jeremy V. Good heavens. Jeremy V, unceremoniously thrown over the top rope. And Jay Freeze and Derek Driver, oh, good heavens. And just
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, Future Shock.
Just like that, Future Shock puts themselves in a future tag team contention.
Scoot Andrews, Michael Shane, se metieron donde no se pueden meter. Michael Shane, Scoot Andrews, you made a challenge to the SAT. If you guys beat us, you take our spot at getting the tag team titles. Well, guess what, boys? We proved you wrong. Next week, the Briscoe brothers, TNT, the Lost Boys, we're coming for those titles. So you know what? Tell them, Red.
And Slim J, I heard you're the best high fly in NWA, but guess what? I'm here, and the difference between me and you is that you're trying to make a name, and I already made my name.
And you know what?
Expect the unexpected.
Get that straight, desgraciado!
Slim J doesn't seem to be too impressed.
The Amazing Red, the man AJ Styles, called the new Rey Mysterio Jr. Slim J, a man making his reputation as an insane acrobat with a bad attitude and a hell of a lot of wrestling ability. Already causing controversy. Hell, he almost got us pulled off the air in Roanoke, Virginia. Side headlock applied. There by the Amazing Red. Drop toe hold by Red, float over into a front chancery. Red is hanging on. The winner of this matchup will become the #1 contender to Jeremy Lopez's Wildside Junior Heavyweight title, a slot that Slim J has already occupied once, and he got defeated by Jeremy Lopez due to crookery and a handful of tights by Lopez. Kip up by Red, wrist lock there, on to Slim J.
Slim J wants his opportunity to get a Lopez again, but it's got a tall order indeed, and that's not a size joke, with Amazing Red here this evening on NWA Wildside. Best of luck, Slim.
Leg sweep takedown. Red goes for a lateral press. Slim J kicks up. Slim J goes for a leg sweep. Red misses. Slim J misses. A leg sweep there. Arm drag takeover by Red. Arm drag takeover by Slim J. Duck of a clothesline by Slim. Slim J hip toss counter. Red lands on his feet. Both men go for a drop kick. And both men stare off eye to eye.
And a new level of respect shown by both Slim J and the Amazing Red, and I don't believe Slim J has ever shown respect to anybody ever in his life.
Amazing Red extending the hand for respect. Is Slim J gonna give it to him? Is Slim J gonna give the respect back that he's been earning?
Yeah, he's gonna give it to him.
I don't think so. Counter by Red into a waist lock. Red lands on his feet there, back flip, leapfrog by left, Red counter, up and over goes Slim J, dug for clothesline is Slim J. And Red sends Slim J to the top rope, over the top rope under the apron. Baseball slide taking out the shins of Slim J.
And Slim J hits face first, right on that ring apron. And he's in a wobbly street. And here comes Red.
Good grief, Tope Con Hilo by the Amazing Red.
When with that speed, when was the last time we saw Tope Con Hilo done at 15 miles an hour?
Red is unbelievable. He's already been appearing on NWA TNA and has been a very, very formidable contender in the X division. Having an amazing breakout matchup with Low Key. And now here he is in Wildside, continuing in the ranks of the NWA, competing against Slim J. And Slim J, a man, frankly, that the X Division is afraid of. They don't want this troublemaker anywhere near pay-per-view.
But Slim J just might be too big to pull that one off. What a feather in the cap. Maybe we should get Bill Behrens to do some lobbying on Slim J's behalf at TNA. Huh?
Slim J lands on his feet there. Leg sweep taped out by Red. He was going for the Red Star press, but Slim J had been studying his tapes. Quick to counter. Slim J misses a running corkscrew splash. And Red now back on the offensive. Irish whip by the amazing Red. Reversal by Slim J. Slim J goes for a hip toss. Nage Teru. Red counters that with an arm drag. Lucha Libre at its finest. Leg lariat by the amazing Red.
And once again, the winner of this match is #1 contender for Jeremy Lopez's Wildside Junior Heavyweight Championship. And frankly, a matchup between the amazing Red and Lopez is an interesting one indeed.
Very much the same matchup in terms of strategy as Slim J versus Lopez. It's a little bit more of a respectful competitor. Play by the rules a little bit more than Slim J. But nevertheless, either man could take the junior heavyweight title from Lopez at any given second. Reversal. Red goes hard into the corner. Slim J charges in. Boot to the face by Red. The amazing Red on the second rope. Goes for a sunset flip. Slim J counters. 3-6 Mafia kick.
Perfectly executed, but Slim landed on his side, which has faced more than its share of punishment. Slim J on top of Red for a pin attempt. Only a 2 count.
Big punch by Slim J.
I'll tell you, this match in this very edition of NWA Wildside is one that a lot of people have been looking forward to for quite a number of weeks, and we're real proud here at Wildside to bring it to you.
Two count only by Slim J. Snapmare takeover.
Ooh!
He stepped on his shoulder and he kicked him right in the back of the head. You can call it a version of the Shining Wizard. I call it a boot to the back of the head.
I vote for the boot to the back of the head, too. It's unanimous.
Slim J again with those punches. For a high flyer, he's got some of the most devastating punches in the game. Red lands on the apron. Punch of his own to the face of Slim J. On the second turnbuckle is Red. Good grief. I don't even know what to call that.
I would call that part a pin attempt by the amazing Red. Not enough to pin down the shoulders of Slim J for that elusive, oh so elusive 3 count.
Like a tornado flatline. I've never seen that in my life.
Amazing Red has been known to reinvent himself for every match he participates in.
Reversal by Slim J. Red comes up and over and lands on his feet. Slim J catches him with a mule kick right to the goods. Slim J hooks Red. He's got him up. Swinging Fisherman's Buster by Slim J.
And Slim slowly making his way over for a pin attempt. We think, yes.
What arrogance by Slim J. And not only did he not hook the leg, he barely used a hand to cover the amazing Red.
I don't know if it's arrogance or maybe he's just completely beat to the firepower of the amazing Red here this evening. A lot more than Slim J encountered. Ooh!
What a brain buster by Slim J. Two count only.
Slim thought for sure he had the shoulders down for a 3 count. Speedy Nelson says otherwise.
Slim J lifting the amazing Red to his feet, and he's calling for the anger management. He is calling for the anger management. But the amazing Red countering him here. Reverse Hurricane Rana by Red.
That could have been dangerous for all the participants in this one.
Lateral press by Red. And Slim J kicks out.
The crowd is watching in hushed silence at the arsenal being shown by both these competitors here this evening.
There's the Red Star Press. And Slim J kicks out.
I think that may be a first, Dan.
Unbelievable shooting star press without even taking any forward running for momentum.
Shows you the nimble firepower of the Amazing Red.
Irish whip into the far corner. Here comes Red, forearm shot to the mouth. Amazing Red Nagi saw Teru. Slim J counters him. Victoria driver! That could be all she wrote for Red.
I think so.
The
No!
Amazing Red kicks out.
Amazing indeed.
The effort on behalf of this young man from Brooklyn, New York, 20 years of age. Right hand by Slim J and another. Look at it, taking it to Red. Irish whip. Spinning heel kick by Slim J.
And Slim, for the first time in this match, is moving really slowly. Oh, and an unashamed shot to the cods, courtesy of the fist of Slim J.
2 count only.
For many people, Slim J was one of the highlights of Freedom Fight 2002, available on Wildside home video.
Slim J going for anger management. Red counters.
Oh!
2 kicks, 1 to the back of the head that sent Red over.
With such force, it actually flipped the Amazing Red in the process. Slim J on top for the pin attempt. That's got to be it. No!
What a matchup here for the #1 contendership, Steven.
Slim J and the Amazing Red duking it out. I don't know what these guys have left.
Scoop and a slam. Slim J going up top here. He could be going for the 420 splash. Now he's calling for Red to get up.
Oh! And the second that Slim J landed on his feet, he met by a kick to the ear, courtesy Amazing Red.
Red going for the infrared, but nobody home. And Slim J's got him up on his shoulders. He's got the Amazing Red. Anger management.
Incredible.
What a matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and #1 contender to the Wildside Junior Heavyweight title, Slim J.